This is a nervous night for a man who made a career out of helping clear tough criminal cases.
Tomorrow morning, David Kofoed's case goes to the Nebraska Supreme Court. Kofoed, former chief of Douglas County CSI unit, says he was wrongfully convicted last year of tampering with evidence. Could have been out of prison by now, but he refuses to show remorse. For this I-Team exclusive, I met with Kofoed where he's serving time in Lincoln, biding his time to be free.
And then, there's 400 to 600 tomato plants over here.
David Kofoed's living a different life.
We've got corn and we've got zucchini and watermelons down on past the tomato plants.
The one-time high-profile chief of the Douglas County Crime Scene Investigations Unit,
right now I make $2.25 a day,
is now a part-time gardener.
Spent a lot of time in the garden just kind of tending to it and stuff.
Full-time prisoner, convicted of planting or tampering with evidence in a double murder case. Spring of 2006, Wayne and Sharman Stoke killed in their Murdoch home. During the investigation, Kofoed eventually finds a single speck of blood in a vehicle, seemingly putting the blame on two men, Matthew Livers and Nicholas Sampson. Livers even confessed.
I didn't have anything to do with this. You did. I did not. You did.
But this turns out to be a false confession. The truth, these teens, Gregory Fester and Jessica Reed, killed the Stokes. Both are serving life sentences. Because of the mistake, 4 years later, Kofoed faces two trials. He's quickly acquitted in federal court, but then the state brings charges.
So the court finds the defendant guilty of the charge.
Guilty of tampering with physical evidence.
No matter what that judge thinks, they did not prove I planted evidence. There's no way. There was no way you could prove that.
And Kofoed's still trying to prove his innocence. He's appealing to the state Supreme Court, claiming his rights were violated. Kofoed says a former CSI co-worker had a problem with him and went to investigators.
Went to the State Patrol and the FBI in 2007 and said I was a bad player.
That triggered an investigation into Kofoed.
And we never knew it until after I was convicted.
One he didn't know about, but was used against him.
That's a legitimate federal issue. It's a Brady violation. It's a discovery violation. It's legitimate.
Still, the reality is Kofoed's going to be here until at least next spring. Says he's not going to leave unless it's on his own terms, which means not admitting to anything he didn't do. He tells me he's not worried about his reputation, but it does concern him what's happening to his former colleagues.
They just attack and attack and attack those folks, and it's a bunch of BS, and it makes me really angry, and that does bother me.
All right.
And this is how he copes.
The bright spot of my day is running. I mean, that's kind of like meditation to me.
8 laps inside the fence line marks a mile. He runs so much, he's lost 65 pounds.
I feel like a hamster in a cage.
It gets worse when he gets here.
Yeah, this is my bed here.
A cell he shares with 7 other guys. 8 men in a room built for 4.
Yeah, it's claustrophobic.
While Kofoed says he's had some physical confrontations, he expected that coming from law enforcement, his time behind bars hasn't been that tough, except he's missing his daughter growing up.
You know, I'm not trying to cry on anybody's shoulder, but, you know, as far as my life, I've lost the house, the car. I had my daughter. I had custody of my daughter for 6 years. Her mom lives in California, so I lost that. That's the biggest thing. All the other stuff doesn't matter to me at all.
But even that isn't enough to make him ask for early release.
You know, I've been to the parole board twice and told them, you know, I don't have anything to be remorseful about. You know, I can jam this time, and I will.
Supreme Court hears Kofoed's arguments at 9 tomorrow morning. Of course, KATV News Watch 7 will be there, and we'll have complete coverage tomorrow night.